What's up, everybody? Christian Ballard here, Ballard Sports Media, recording on StreamYard today. I was kind of bored, first off, and I was just thinking, what could I do? What could I make for just a video? And I figured I'd come on here and share screen and look at a rival of mine as a Bama fan, of course. But I want to look today at the Auburn Tigers. And how good or how bad will they actually be this year? First off, from a national standpoint, obviously we know new head coach Brian Harsin, who was really good at Boise State. Not a bad hire, I don't think. Gus Malzahn is out. We expected that years ago, actually. But anyway, Gus is at UCF, Central Florida, who beat Auburn a few years ago and won a national title. So they say, yeah, but Brian Harsin comes in as the new head coach. He coached Boise State for 6 years. He coached them early on. That's his alma mater too. He actually played quarterback in the 90s. I don't know how good he was then, but anyway, that's his alma mater. He's had a lot of history over at Boise State. He was really good. He's 76-24 as a head coach. He is 3-2 in bowl games. Let me share this with you. I know you can't always buy Wikipedia, but 9 times out of 10 for coaches, it's pretty accurate. This is looking at Brian Harsin right here. He has a head coaching record of 76-24. That's not bad. 24 losses isn't too bad. 76 wins is good. You have more wins than losses. You're 3-2 in bowl games. He's won the Sun Belt one time. 5 Mountain divisions in the Mountain West. He was a finalist for the Broyles Award in 2009. I mean, he's done quite a bit. And I remember when they hired Harsin at Auburn a few months back, and I made a video about it. And I'm intrigued by this hire. He was great at Boise State. But Auburn is a different level. Look at this. Arkansas State is where he started out. 7-5 in 1 year. He left before the bowl game. I guess they made a GoDaddy Bowl, but then he hits Boise State. 12-2 season overall with the bowl win. First in the Mountain, so I guess they went 10-2. Won the conference in the Mountain West. Made the Fiesta Bowl and won that. That's not bad. 9-4 the next year. Won a Poinciana Bowl. I guess is how you say that. 10-3. I guess it would have been 10-2 or whatever. Lost the Cactus Bowl. Won the Vegas Bowl. Right. Bowl game after bowl game after bowl game. And it wasn't bad. And you notice there's like 4 different years where they were ranked in the top 25. So and of course last year it was a weird year. We'll let last year slide for really any team that did bad because it was COVID. We had that going on. 5-2 overall, 5-0 in the conference. I guess lost 2 non-con games then. But overall, though, 45-8 in the Mountain West for Brian Harsin. 69-19. That's great. That's actually really good. Auburn got a great coach in this. But Auburn last season, and let's double check their schedule too. Let's double check Auburn. Forget Brian Harsin for a second. I think the hire is great, but Auburn themselves, man, last year 10-game season. Hold on. They ended up playing actually 9 games in the SEC, 10 games if you count the bowl game against Northwestern. So here's what they did. Kentucky to start out. They win that game 29-13. Okay, great win for them. Struggled a little bit, but they pulled away. They won by, 16? Then, Stetson Bennett was quarterback for Georgia at the time. You go to Athens, and I understand losing, but this is a rivalry. Shouldn't these games, isn't the Deep South game supposed to, first off, be in November, but I guess they moved the game because it's not fair that they got to play Georgia and Bama in the same month, back-to-back weeks or whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't care where this game's played. You guys ever move the Iron Bowl, and I'm going to lose it. Anyway, getting back to this. At Georgia on the road in Athens, how do you 27-6? You lost by 3 touchdowns to Georgia, Auburn. This was the start of your downfall. You won some pretty important games, though. I'll give you that. Arkansas, that was a close but really good win. You lost to South Carolina, though. I mean, it was just one of those weird years in general, 2020, for life. It was weird for football. It was weird. But Auburn, you want to talk weirdness? Look at this. Okay, beat Kentucky, I understand. Lose to Georgia, I understand. Beat Arkansas. Arkansas is heading in a good path with Sam Pittman, but beat them at home. That's fine. I get Williams-Brice is a tough place, but it wasn't a full crowd, I don't believe. I mean, you lost by 8 to South Carolina. You didn't want to be there. I get it. You lose by 8. It's tough. Then you go to Ole Miss in Oxford. You win by 7. That's a great win. That was probably your best win. Ole Miss is going to be a good team next year. They bring a lot back. Matt Corral at quarterback. Snoop Connor running back. I mean, they got a lot coming back next year. They gave Bama a run for the money a little bit. That was a great win. Then you beat LSU 48-11 at home. You had 2 bye weeks. I guess I don't know what game got canceled on your schedule. Then you beat Tennessee, right? Then you lose to Alabama. You're going to lose the Iron Bowl. Okay. Biggest game of the season in college football, biggest rivalry. You lose it big time, 42-13. But we get what Bama was last year. Okay. A&M was really good last year, 31-20 at home. You'd at least think that maybe it'd be a little closer. I don't know. You'd at least hope instead of 11-point loss. Then at Mississippi State, go to Starkville, win by 2 touchdowns. That's fine. Then the Big Ten, who started late, by the way, you make the Citrus Bowl. And, of course, in bowl season, we like to say, or I like to say at least, it's a preview. Normally, if you know they got players coming back, it's normally a preview of what's to come for a team. Now, I don't know if Northwestern's going to be good next year. I don't know. I haven't looked at them. I know they've been a pretty good team, top 20 team in recent years. Auburn lost 35-19. They didn't even score 3 touchdowns in that game. Bo Nix looks like a deer in headlights. A couple plays here there. I do like the running back Tank Big. I like these players on the team. I'm not going to doubt them too much. But I mean, come on. Let's look at let's look at some stuff. Let me stop screen sharing this here. Let's look at some stats. What Auburn did last year. Because I'm going to be honest. They might improve. They might not improve. They might be just as bad or good. I don't think Auburn had a great year last year. They did not. Bo Nix, you got to give him credit. Not quite 60% completion percentage. Depleted offensive line did not help him out. He threw for over 2,000 yards, though. Although we've seen like Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones. I mean, I'm not even going to try to compare him to all those other guys that we saw last year or in recent years that are 5 stars or have, like, Mac Jones was a 3-star recruit, won a championship. I'll admit it. Maybe he's systematic, but anyway, I mean, Bo Nix kind of the same way, but 2,000 yards is not that bad. That's pretty good. He can throw the football. He can make plays. Seth Williams led in receiving, 760. Zacoby McClain had 113 tackles. That's not bad. Roger McCreary is a great defensive back. He had 3 interceptions on the defense. Cord Sandberg, Grant Loy are the backup quarterbacks for Bo Nix. I've never heard of either one of those. 59 completion percentage. Over 2,000 yards. His longest play was 91 yards. That's not bad. 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Okay. More touchdowns than interceptions. That's always good. But this right here, 21 sacks for negative 110 yards, sack yard loss right here. I mean, Auburn does not have an offensive line whatsoever. It is missing. And I'm sorry to say it, but Bo Nix cannot survive without O-line help. Really, no quarterback can. But I mean, like, Bo Nix on a serious level cannot. I like Bo Nix, too. I do think he has some talent to him. I think he's got I don't know if I want to say he has an NFL future. But this year is going to be tough because they won't have an O-line. So Bo Nix is going to be sitting there in the pocket. He's going to be messing with the defenses of LSU, of Alabama, of Georgia. I don't know what Penn State's going to do defensively. That's a home and home series, by the way, coming up. It starts this year. Hold on one second. And Bo Nix is going to be standing there in the pocket. He's got a pretty good arm, too. He is a serviceable quarterback, and love the term or not, he's systematic. There's not going to be much of an O-line for him. They've had some good offensive linemen in past years. Prince Tango Wanoa or whatever got drafted. There was some Jackson guy. I don't know, but it's interesting. And looking at their O-line too, there's quite a few freshmen on there. Avery Jernigan, Tate Johnson, Keandre Jones, they're freshmen. Brendan Coffey's a junior from California. there's quite a few guys. They also, fun fact, I don't know if anybody knew this, they have Tyler Fromm at tight end. He is the brother of former Georgia quarterback and current backup on the Bills, Jake Fromm's brother, Tyler Fromm, right here. Freshman last year. They haven't updated this. Next year, I guess he'll be sophomore. Unless I know they have that like extra eligibility. I still don't know how they're going to work. Like, are freshmen going to be freshmen again because of this, or like I don't know. But anyway, then you got the defense. Big Cat Brian is great. I think he's in the NFL now. Quite a few freshmen on the defense too. Jeremiah Wright, OC Brothers, Cameron Brown, Romello Height from Dublin, Georgia. There's a lot of inexperienced players. And when you add that in with a new head coach, now Brian Harsin we already looked at. He was great at Boise State. Again, I'll say, Boise State is not the SEC. Mountain West, like Boise State and whoever they faced, in the Mountain West is not Georgia, is not Alabama, is not A&M, is not Ole Miss, it's not any of those. He has to fit in to the SEC. It's going to take some time. I think he can do it. I think he can be the guy to take this Auburn program to heights that they haven't been to in a long time. I'm not going to go so far as like a national title or nothing, but give him a few years. If he can figure some recruiting stuff out, if he can figure out his type of work with offense and defense and all that, and do what Gus Malzahn. I mean, look, Gus Malzahn, when he was at Auburn, he beat Georgia, he beat Alabama, he won the West. Brian Harsin, I mean, he's walking into a very important program in college football. That's right. I just said that about Auburn. They're an important program. The Iron Bowl is the biggest rivalry. Auburn, we need you for that game. So, I mean, what do you want me to say? There's a lot that Brian Harsin is walking into. There's a lot. There really is. I'll put that up. I don't know. That's kind of what we're talking about. How good or how bad will they be this year? How good will they be? Not very. How bad will they be? I don't think they'll be the bottom of the West. If I had to look at it right now, right, and I'll start with Bama for right now, but obviously there's a couple teams that they need to look out for, like Ole Miss or A&M in the West. But let's start with Bama at the top. Let's assume it's them. I think you see Bama, Ole Miss, A&M. Then you have teams like, let's see, Bama, Ole Miss, A&M, maybe Mississippi State 4. I don't know. And you keep going, right? Like what? Where does Auburn fall in terms of the West next year? They were third in the SEC West last year, behind Bama and A&M respectively. I think they're gonna fall a bit. I really do. Are they going to be ranked at all in the top 25 preseason poll when it comes out in like the next month or so? I don't know. I think they probably should be, at least to start out. But I mean, I here's what I got. Alabama, let's assume they win the West. They're number one. I'll go A&M or Ole Miss. I'm kind of flip-flopping on who's going to be second behind Bama. I don't know. But those two, 2 and 3, whichever way you want to put it, then I think LSU takes a step forward. Arkansas will be interesting. Mississippi State might be the worst team in the West next year. If not, I think Arkansas could do a little bit better than Auburn. Just barely. Maybe even by one game. Because Arkansas has played some games with Auburn recently. I don't know. Auburn probably won't be dead last in the West. I don't think they'll be that. But they will be second or third to the last team next year. LSU's going to be ahead. Ole Miss will be ahead. A&M and Alabama for sure next season when you look at it overall. When you look at this, they went 6-4 last year. In total, they scored 257 points offensively. In total, they gave up 237 points defensively. Against ranked teams last year, they were 1-4. They ended up losing their game last year. I guess the bowl game they had against, who was it, Northwestern in the Citrus Bowl, I think. But, I mean, like I said earlier, guys, you know, the postseason when it comes to bowl games gives you a preview of probably what's to come outside of, like, the championship or whatever. Because, I mean, Bama's not going to be what they were last year. We saw what they did. They're not going to be that. And obviously a couple years ago, if the postseason is really what gives you a preview of what's to come, then that would mean LSU should have dominated. That's not exactly what I meant. But where does Auburn fall next year? Could they be a surprise team in the SEC? Sure. They weren't all that great in 2019, in my opinion. I mean, I get they had that last second win over Oregon. But Georgia whooped them. I think they lost. Didn't they lose to A&M? I don't know. But I think going into the Iron Bowl, they were, I want to say, were they like 7-4 or 8-3 or whatever, and they won, and they finished 9-3 or 8-4, something like that, which isn't bad. Auburn will take that. But obviously, like, you go back to past Auburn teams. I mean, 2013 with the kick six and the prayer at Jordan Hare and all that. They made the national title. FSU and Jameis Winston beat them last second. 2010, they won it all. I believe undefeated, and they beat Oregon, and Cam Newton was the Heisman winner. I mean, they've had that. Look, Auburn is not a dead program. Not that what they did 10 years ago, 6, 7, 8 years ago, you know, not that that's defining them now or helping them now. But, I mean, Auburn, it's interesting. Auburn is one of those teams you just can never figure out. They're either going to be a lot worse than you expect, or they're going to be a lot better than you expect, and they're never going to be exactly what you... Like, if I called right now, they'll probably go 50-50 on their schedule, go 6-6. You have no clue if I will underestimate them and they go like 8-4, 9-3, or if I am giving them too much credit and they ultimately suck and go like 5-7. You won't know. You can never figure this stuff out with Auburn. So how good will they be? How bad will they be? I don't know. But we'll just have to wait and see. I don't expect them, honestly, to do much this season. But again, a lot can happen any given Saturday in football. And if there's anything to their advantage this year, it's the fact that the Iron Bowl and I almost wanted to say the third Saturday. I'm sorry. The Deep South game are at home for them, which they have held that pretty handily. But I don't know. My defense for losing the 2019 Iron Bowl as a Bama fan was the lack of defense. And if we had not had 12 men on the field, we could have got off the field. Mac Jones and company could have got the ball back, and we could have won that game. I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting off track. You guys comment down below or whatever, and you guys let me know what you think Auburn will do this year in 2021. I don't expect them to do much. I think I went like 7-5 or 8-4 when I looked at their schedule. I don't know. I don't have a clue, but you guys let me know. I'm going to go ahead and end this one. Comment down below what you think Auburn will do in 2021. I love you guys. Keep your head up. Jesus loves you. Y'all have an awesome week and a weekend as we approach it. Love y'all. God bless. And roll tide roll. Woo!
How about that? Check to local initiative.
Okay. Roll down tide.